My name is Jimmy Weir, and I'm the director of a program here in the School of Pacific and Asian Studies called Muslim Societies in Asia and the Pacific. And I'd like to welcome Dr. Hasan, who's the director of the Center of the Arts for Syiah at Kuala University in Banda Aceh, Indonesia. He's also the director of the architecture department and a member of the engineering faculty there. Dr. Hasan today will talk on the local and global influences on the arts and architecture of Aceh. And in particular, I think the 17th century influence of international maritime trade and the place of Arab, Indian, Southeast Asian, and Chinese influences on identity and the arts in Aceh. So happy to see you here. I hope you'll follow us and MSAP's work in the future, and welcome Dr. Hasan.
Thank you. Thank you for the time given for me. It is an honor for me to be able to share little things from Aceh with you here. My presentation today is a traditional art and architecture of Aceh, local and global forms. So I thought that our theme also here is to to inform you. This is the traditional culture of Aceh. You can see also the dance on Thursday. So tomorrow we're gonna have also culinary from Aceh. And also my theme here is traditional architecture. So the whole ideas in my presentation is how culture influence architecture and art. And I choose the traditional because I just want to tell you that since long time ago, Chinese is welcome to everybody. So even we didn't really have the indigenous because we came we came from many countries here, from China, from India. Even the Aceh, the jargon said that Aceh is stand for A is Arab, C is China, E is Europe, and H for India. So if you see us here, we don't have typical face. So some look like Chinese, some look like Indian, some look like Europe. So we mix. Since long time ago, we already mixed. So we didn't really have indigenous, like really indigenous people. See here, this is the map that shows this is all Indonesian archipelago, the black color, and where Aceh is on the north tip of Sumatra Island. Here, and since the before century, like the beginning century, people travel from west to east through the Strait of Malacca here. So from here, take like 10 years or longer time to pass to this Malacca Strait to the west side, to the east side, and they have to stay in the tip of in Aceh, the tip of Sumatra Island, because of the monsoon. So they stay here to wait for the until the weather permitted to go through to the other side, or the other way around, to go through to India. Then while they wait here, that was the cultural mix. They stay like 6 months, even 1 year, and then gradually the place has become the center of international trade. So they don't have to go around to there, just stay here to bring everything to here, and then people from the other side also buy or sell things here. So the cities become very cosmopolitan. It's comprised of Indian and even from Europe, from China, and come to this place. So here it already explained. So that's what the geographical location is really have the place to be the center of international trade, and the interaction between local and global, it's influence on the Chinese population, and it's not homogeneous anymore. It's like heterogeneity of the Achenese population. And then one might say the indigenous Achenese people have traits similar to Arabs, Turkish, Indian, Chinese, and Portuguese. So while they're conducting their trade, foreign merchants had spread not only their trade but also their religion. That's why in Aceh we have like Hindus, Buddhists, then Islam came later. And when the kingdom reached their golden age era, so Aceh become a center of Islamic studies. While if you go back to the map, here. People goes to do the pilgrim to Mecca. So people stay there while waiting for the monsoon, and then they learn Islam. And when they go back, they teach Islam there. So people just come there to teach and learn Islam. That's why we know the Aceh as a Serambi Mecca. It's a veranda of the Holy Land, the Mecca. That's why that's the what we call the call for us for Aceh. So we go. This is also, to show you also how the Islam spread from the tip here. There's a kingdom of Aceh here. There's several kingdoms here. When the traders come, and then it spread all over the Indonesia and Southeast Asia. And so the interaction between the local and global also influence art and architecture. So you see here, Achenese art. The Achenese art shows the presence of Arab, Hindus, as I said before, the Japanese, Indian, Persian influence. And motif. The motif is also influenced by, like, if you know, we have the Islamic motif, it's arabesque. So in Aceh also we have arabesque, but not pure arabesque because it's influenced by Hindus. That's why it's more, it's abstract of arabesque. So it's seen here, like this. So we have geometric, but it's not really pure geometric. It's already influenced by Hindus. However, the Achenese kept the motif of plants here, even though it's okay to have animals, but it seems that they reduced to have animals here, except like birds, but not anything else. And this one also the motif in Aceh that we can find in the gable of the Achenese house. So beside it serves as the motif, but it's whole actually. So it can come through the wind to go inside to make the cool air inside the house. And this one also motif that we can find in the artillery. This is also influenced more with the Arabic art. It comes from Turkish book also. And this one also, so if we see here, the repetition is happen here. It's influenced by arabesque motif. It's a repetition, even though it's not really a geometrics, pure geometrics, but we have a module. And this is also gold necklace with the motif of plants and geometric shapes. Right, this is also used by, we don't really use this, it's actually for the bride and grooms. It's for special day actually, not really a daily use. And this is also seems influenced with the geometric shapes. This one also for Achenese socket. The socket is sarung that people use, Achenese use for certain occasions. art also we can see on the tomb, on the headstone. This is the headstone of Sultan Malik al-Saleh, in 13th century. So we see here why Aceh is known as the place first come to Aceh, Muslim came to Aceh. This is also the fact that by this time the Muslim already came. He's a Muslim. Where we can see also the Arabic inscription here. And this one's also the gravestone of Queen. So in Aceh, even though they are all like major, like 100% Muslim, but we have also Queen. It's ruled by the queens. So queens can be goes everywhere and then lead the people to go to the war, to go everywhere. So this is also the stone. That's the fact that the queen was there. This is with the Javanese motif. And this one, you can see also it's influenced by from Indians and Turkish. We still can see the shape of geometry here and repetition. Now we can see the architecture. So in architecture, I would like to explain a bit about traditional house and then religious buildings and the palace. This is the situation in the Kingdom of Aceh. It was sketched by the traders in 17th century. So the traditional Aceh, it's a common traditional Acehese house was simple and enclosed wooden structure with frames and posts built of wood, wall of made or bamboos, and roof covering of cats. You can see here, this is also the sketch of traveler who came in Aceh in the 17th century. He was Peter Mundi from England. Yes. And this one, the sections of the Acehese house. And this is the construction. Here the house is doesn't need to have a nails to join each other. So this construction it's very good to have a flexibility. So it's also good for when the earthquakes come. All the Acehese house will survive because of the flexibility of the structure. We don't have nails, yes, so it's more flexible, moving. So the construction method made it easier for the owner also to dismantle their house because it was long time ago. They moved from one place to the other. So by having structure like this, it's easy for them to move the house. So using this joint technique, the structure has considerably flexible and can survive the destruction from force from the earthquake. This one is the floor plans. So we have here is clearly divided by several verandas in the front. In the front is here. It's for male, so public space is for male. Then goes inside. Usually there's a room, 2 rooms here. One for the parents, and the other one's usually for the groom and bride who just got married before they have their own house. And here it's a female space called female veranda seramo, And then here is for kitchen and services. So all guests usually sit downstairs. When we see here, usually the guests just sit on the ground floor here, doesn't go inside the house. But if we have party or whatever, so it goes to upstairs. Upstairs, where the men sit here, and then women here. This is also explaining about the house. The floor was made of bamboos or timber slab, spaced at a certain level. So we have certain level because it's important to bring the air from down, goes to inside, and then from the gable, there's also hot air come, and then to neutralize the weather inside. So actually, it's very good thermal comfort here for the traditional Aceh house. This is the house that we can find this time. So some Aceh still live in the traditional house, even though not many people live like this anymore, but still find it. And here, where I said that in the gable, it has cross ventilation, like vertical cross ventilation from up to down to the floor, and then we have horizontal ventilation through the windows. And we go to another section. It's a religious building. In a long time, we found only 2 mosques that were built during the Sultanate. Actually, there's more mosques were built, but I didn't find the written documentation. So just 2 that we can find. One's in the Baitur Rahman Mosque and the others in Rampuri Mosque. This is the mosque. If we see, the mosque looks different from what we had from the Arabic land. Actually, the mosque is influenced by Hindus. We have temple roof, several stories of temple roof. When Islam spread, actually, most of them is from Sufis beliefs. Sufis is they try to adapt whatever local has. So the Acehis didn't realize that the Islam already like bit by bit spread without their knowledge. And when like temple like this gradually become the mosque, they didn't realize that, and then they just try from this pray, then they change the way they pray. So it took like about 8 centuries to change from Hindus to Islam. So it didn't come directly. The Islam came there not by fighting, but like more very gradual. It's like this. So they try to adapt whatever they have there, and then they didn't realize that they already converted to another belief. And this one also another mosque in Rampuri is like far from the kingdom city. So if we compare to the mosque that we saw from the Arabic land, here is the mosque has no turret. The call from prayer took place from the top of the multi-story roof. I got this message from also from the account of the traders who came in the 17th century. The mosque character were clearly close to that of Balinese temple, so like this. This is the temple in Bali, like one. So it's influence of this shape of this. And then the royal palace. In contrast to Aceh's traditional house, the palace was large and built with stone in the Indian style. So it seems that in the other level of in the higher level of Aceh, more people interact with the court palace. So people come there, and then they also invite Acehis in the higher level also was invited to Turkey. That's why maybe more the shape about the form of the building also influenced by them. This is Biliu. Biliu is the traveler from France. who visit Aceh in the 17th century reported that the palace had a circumstance of about 2 miles so the shape of the court palace is so big, it's around 2 miles, and that the palace complex included several halls, pavilions, and large courtyard where banks of the main river run through. So if we see maybe the Topkapi, the building of Topkapi in Turkey, it seems also like this. It has this big and then comprised of several halls, and then it's divided by like public and semi and then very private. So this is the building inside of the court, the royal court. You see it's so different from the common house. Now it is influenced also by Indian. And the others, like this, we can see it's much influenced by Hindus belief also. This is like part of the garden, the royal garden, where the queen has a rest here, play with the dayang-dayang or dayang-dayang with the people there. I don't know what's called for that. And this is the cemetery. It's also here there's a motif on the wall here. It's influenced by arabesque motif. So you can see this. Actually, there's a motif here. It's with the geometric shape, and this is a motif influenced by India. And you can see this the whole building in the courtyard, which is so different from what we imagine having in Asia like this. It seems like somewhere in Turkey or India or somewhere else. This is also sketched by travelers when the sultans pass away. So you can see it's very grandeur, very big, very luxury situation in Aceh, in the kingdom. I couldn't get the good picture of this. I just want to tell here how the Indian influence with the head here. It look like the roof of the temple, like that. And even though here also the kingdom is called Islamic kingdom, but people still see the dance of the women there, and there's no separation between men and women. It's still mixed together here. And this one also, this is actually the parade which happens every year, where the kingdoms goes to the mosque, but they use the ritual influenced by Hindus, using what you call here, the shape of Hindus here, and then they goes to the mosque with there's 211 here. One is empty, one is for the prophet. But after they finish the prayers, the prophet, the king moved to the prophet place. So meaning that they already become so clean and become the representation of the prophet. But the ritual is influenced by Hindus. So here, my conclusion. The study of the cultural history of Aceh in this part has shown how the roots of the rich cultural tradition of the Acehnese extended far to the Malay Peninsula, India, China, and the Middle East, bringing together the diversity of influences that has shaped Acehnese history, conditioned the Acehnese society, and created a unique urban environment. This presentation has also shown the cross-cultural interaction between indigenous people and foreigners that also contribute to the shaping of Acehnese identity. It also shows how the dialogical frame of socio-cultural process had affected the built environment of Aceh, especially in art and architecture. architecture. So here actually I just want to tell that that identity actually is not rigid to the geographical boundary. If we already made to other people, it just can change suddenly, and then when we like it, we take it. When we don't like it, so don't take it. So it doesn't have to be what do you call, like separated by geographical condition. So here also when we turn on the TV, we see from there, from other country, and then we choose. Suddenly we make the building like that. So geographical boundary is not really matter anymore. Even in Aceh, long time ago, it's already happened like this. Okay, thank you very much for the time being.
Thank you, Dr. Hasan. I have one, and anyone else? I'm curious if you could talk a little bit more about the Sufi influences, like where the Sufis were coming from as they were first coming. And today, do people still identify their practice as Sufi influence very much? I mean,
actually, I don't really follow what Sufi is this time.
Yeah.
But since I learned on architecture, I just saw what they concept or everything. So, cause Sufi actually is also try to adapt what local already practice. In architecture, it's influenced like that too. So, from Arab, most missionaries, Islam missionaries come to Aceh is from Sufis groups. So they come to India first for a long time, they stay there, and then they went to Aceh. So maybe they already learn how Indian influence there, and then they come to Aceh. Actually, they would just come to Aceh on the way. On the way to Aceh, stopped by in India for quite a long time. In architecture, what they try to do is like they took out not everything, but as much as possible what local has. For example, like motifs. We saw motif here. They didn't really say that it was wrong or whatever, because some of the halls in the royal court is also influenced by Chinese. There's a more dragons there, whatever, and lions. We still use that. I mean, still has that. But they try to adapt like this. Try to make the module, the repetition, because they said that okay, we can use that. That's also reflect of Muslim. Muslim do praying all the time. It's repetition, and then they also do the zikir. Zikir when they pray, they say Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So when you see like that, it's also reflect of Islam. They said so it's okay to use that like that. And then for the mosque also, they use the place as a temple before, because they don't see anything wrong. Just use the place, and then gradually they even pretending to be traders. Actually, they don't say that they are say Muslim is the best, blah 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 like that. But they do the traders. They married to people there, to Aceh's people, and then suddenly they try to teach the kids to be Muslim. So that's why it takes long time to be Muslim country, like 8 centuries, because they came there on the 7th century actually already tried to stop by to the place. But we saw here the fact that by the 13th century we have the stone of the Aceh's Muslim leaders, something like that.
If I may add to your questions, what kind of Islam practice in Aceh right now? I think it's always a kind of like contestation. Some practice very formal Islam, but there are Sufism groups in Aceh until now, and it dates back to the 12th and 13th century. Where there was Hamzah Fansuri, for example, which is considered as the Sufi. But when a more conservative Islam came from India, by the and preached by Nuruddin Ar-Raniri, there was actually a rivalry, and there is actually a burning of Amfasuri, a conflict between the two. So bad until Nuruddin Ar-Raniri and his followers burned all the books of Hamzah Fansuri and his followers. And I think today's Islam in Aceh also reflects some kind of that. Maybe it's not competition, but some kind of contestation, which Islam is practiced in Aceh. It's just like how Nuruddin Ar-Raniri, which is now the name of our Islamic State University in Aceh, compared to Hamzah Fansuri. But some still are firm believers of the teachings of Hamzah Fansuri, for example. And we also, Acehnese, since they are young, also taught to be proud of Hamzah Fansuri. Not until, I think, recent days that we learned there was a big conflict between the two school of thoughts. When I was young, I just know that this is the two big ulamas from Aceh. But not until these days that we know, and actually there is a big conflict between the two ulamas. So bad until they basically burned all Hamzah Fansuri teachings.
Yeah, but also my thesis also looking for how politics influence architecture. But I'm not talking about that here. Hamzah Fansuri and Ar-Raniri has also political thinking in their way. They want to be also more powerful. They close to the king. So if we take them out, actually it's happened very gradually, very peacefully. So when people goes to the politics, everything's become conflict. So yeah, that's what I thought, because I also do my thesis on PhD thesis is how politics influence architecture. So when people goes to the top like that, they become politically politically orientation. Their orientation is more in the political thinking. Yeah.
The two ulamas, of course, competing to get close to the king.
Right. So what I said here is like for the common people, they just do very peacefully, and they don't really kill. They don't kill each other, something like that.
For me, as a sociologist, seeing this presentation that Sufi masters, for example, has social architecture as the tools to know how, for example, the socio-political conditions. Sufi masters means that will he support the leader then in Aceh. For example, that's what several Mahdi said, that Nuruddin Ar-Raniri supported the
king.
Ratu Syafiatuddin, like that. So the Sufi masters also has interest the school of thought of the Sufi masters is various style, something like that.
Any other question?
You talked about the culture and climate affecting architecture in traditional buildings. How about in modern buildings?
Modern buildings, even though we have so many concepts about that, but yeah, in fact, we still use air conditioner. And maybe at the time we didn't have air conditioner, so that's why we give up. Not we give up, we can stay like that. But what I said here, even long time ago, even since 1st century, people already try to be able to live comfortably like that. So here, I mean, lately, it depends on how people approach the building. I mean, how they approach the concept. Many building doesn't really have the comfort. what's it tadi? Thermal comfort anymore. Even though they say that, but we still feel that we need air condition. Yeah.
In modern building, we have ornamental Chinese. It's only that, but not the whole concept.
Yeah, maybe the material also help with the wood, but we couldn't find wood anymore to build a house. We cannot cut the trees anymore. So what we also try to do, how to make the modern building, but also used for local people also without air conditioning. But that's what we're trying to do. We still have air conditioning everywhere. Yeah, that's a conflict also. Yeah. But what I said here, people know like fighting, saying their identity is like this. Oh, that's your identity. Like Western said, Eastern identity is like this. So don't move. Please stay there because you are Eastern. So it's also there's some like regionalism, saying that identity of Easterns like this. But actually, even us there, we didn't even read the books or even what we already mix. It doesn't matter where we are, who we are. We just take it whatever we want. So it doesn't have to be that. Since you are Eastern, you have to be like this. So it doesn't mean like that.
I also think that actually this is a very dynamic community. It's derived from many nations. She said just now it's from Arabic, from India, something like that. So it's very, very fast to change style in life.
When we can change suddenly. You see the buildings in the courtyard is so different from like common house. Yeah, maybe because they didn't have money to do that. If they had money, they would do that. So
Money talk.
Yeah, money talk. So yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of influence from China, you say, Hinduism, India and Arab. Is there any European influence on architecture or art design in Aceh? Because in performing arts, there is some European influence, right? There is the use of violin, for example, and accordion in the performing art. What about in architecture?
We couldn't find this like more European, but if we see it's influenced by Turkish. Turkish is also more influenced by, so it's not directly influenced. Yeah, but I said also the character of Acehnese also, doesn't really like to be colonialized. So historically, most Western really want to colonize the place. They didn't really do that for like traders, but they want to dominate the economy there. So that's why maybe also like Acehnese right? I don't know. This is my feeling because we see even in the that's big. I connect to my research when Indonesia is in the colonializing period. In Aceh is the only place who reject the Dutch, not just the Dutch, but also the Suharto's idea of having mosque with the temple things. They don't actually in Aceh already have temple like this, but because of Suharto they didn't want to. So they just reject whatever they ask. I mean, somebody force you. Yeah. So it's also cultural, cultural things here.
Yeah. I must have sometimes think that if people want to dominate, colonize Acehnese, this is by Sufi master's way. It's very
by soft way, not hard way.
Yeah, if Sufis, they just come softly and then okay, you can
what's
do
not
that.
Fine about that.
It's not progress.
Yeah. So even though Indonesian asked them has to do this and then they reject it. So most Western come there to just want to dominate the what you call the traders there. If we see the history.
So
That's
in
why.
this case, what is the connection with Islamic dimension? The questions.
The question. That's why I also question you. So what is Islamic architecture there? Yeah, Islamic architecture can be anything. So it doesn't have to. That's why I said that the identity. Oh, your identity is like that. You don't move, okay? So it's not like that. Since you are Muslim, you okay to be built like a Western? Why not? So that's my idea. That's my thesis. So that's my thesis, saying that you can do anything. Don't have to stay in your space.
Doesn't have to have a tomb to be Islamic, right?
No. So, but maybe we have to think how you can practice Islam in the building. Okay, so you put something with a space for praying, but that's in the architecture you cannot see it clearly.